That's a good thing. So yes, I have a bachelor's degree in music education, although I don't teach. I tried it twice and quit twice because I could get them to sing. I couldn't get them to sit down and shut up. And so I quit that. I got a master's degree in vocal performance, which just means I can sing. And but I do teach. I have a private voice studio of 45 students come to my house every week and learn how to sing. I conduct at the First United Methodist Church, the choir there. I conduct the Harmony and Diversity Choir, which is the LGBT community in the Great Lakes Bay Area. And I direct the Men of Music, which is the men's chorus in town. And so I love to sing, and I love teaching people how to sing, and it's super cool. Okay, this is going to be interactive, so we're going to be up and down a bit. So if you cannot stand for a while, or if you can't be getting up and down, when I say stand, please don't feel obligated to stand if you can't stand. Okay. So, singing. First of all, you got to know about your body. So we're going to talk about posture. So in order to sing, you got to have good posture. And I know a lot of times you guys will be seated while you play, but a lot of times you'll be standing, or even if you're going to stand and somebody else is going to play. So what we need to do is we need to stand, everybody. And what happens is you want to have the weight of your body on both of your feet. You want your feet about as far apart as your shoulders. Okay, weight of your body on your toes. Now I'm a wide girl, so I stand more like a cowboy, which is really appropriate today. I always say I stand like a cowboy. So tinier people, I tell my little 13-year-olds, don't stand with your feet together like you're a little prim little cheerleader. You really want to give yourself some width. Okay, so the weight of your body should be on your toes, on the balls of your feet. Here, not on your heels, because if you put your weight on your heels, put your weight on your heels. Okay, all of this goes like this, and you're sway back or something, and it's just not working. Okay, so you really want, I think, I'm a Yankees fan, and I think about Derek Jeter, and I think he's always ready like this. Okay, so weight of your body on both feet. You don't want to sing like this. You don't want to sing like that. So weight of your body on your toes, bounce up and down on your toes. Good for you. And I say rib cage high, and what this does is, you put your elbows up above your armpits, and for women, put your girls in the air. Okay, so what it does is, and I do this to my teenage boys too, and they just giggle. After they get over the embarrassment thing, they're used to it. So now your rib cage is high, and what you've done is you put about an inch between your rib cage and the rest of your body. So now put those down, keep your rib cage up. Okay, when you sing, you want it to be this way. Okay, you want to be from heel to head as tall as possible, and the reason why is if you're like this, the airway is compromised. If you're like this, your neck is crooked. So turtle, I call it turtle woman, I collect turtles. You're going to be like this, and it's not going to work as well. For you playing instruments, if you're seated, I can't, oh, you're all standing up, I can't show you that, but if you're seated, you've got your instrument, and you're like this, that's not going to work as well as if you were to back up just a little bit, make the spine tall, and play like this. And I know sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes the music stands over there. Okay, and you got to do this. Try as much as possible to keep this nice and tall. Okay, so what we're going to do is a lot of breathing, a lot of singing has to do with breathing. And so I'll tell you what. Have a seat. I'll tell you about breathing. Then we're going to do it. Okay. Yeah. The whole deal is you have lungs. Okay. Your lungs are what your air goes into. Okay. So everybody, breathe in. Okay, let that out. Okay, now what happened is your lungs, your medulla oblongata back here says, okay, let your lungs fill up with air. And what it is you have a diaphragm, okay? Your diaphragm is a flat muscle that sits, I tell my kids, between all the gut stuff and all the air stuff, okay? And it sits right at the bottom of your rib cage, okay? And it sits in there like a dome. So when you breathe in, it sucks down and pulls into your lungs. Your lungs are not muscles. Your lungs are just spongy material, okay? So what happens is, you stand there, you breathe in, and you go, and it sucks down, and then you just let it go, okay? What we need to do is, when we sing, we want to push the air out under a longer period of time, right? And so that's because that's what we're singing is elongated speaking is singing. So that means we have to push out the air over an even period of time, or even or over a longer period of time. So I want you to breathe in, and I want you to hiss. So I want you to breathe in. Now hiss. Okay, don't turn purple, don't pass out. And what you're going to find is that's an evener bunch of air for a longer period of time, right? Okay? Now, make a fist. Okay? You're going to breathe in. You're going to try to blow air through your fist. Let some air out, but not a whole lot. Okay. Now, do you notice that you can push way harder on your fist than you can when you hiss? Okay? And the reason why is you gave it resistance. Okay? You'll find this with all brass players in particular, they have a trumpet or even a wind instrument like an oboe. Do you see those guys blowing for all they're worth trying to get the air through that instrument to get it to go? They have a mouthpiece to push up against, and that's why we use fists, okay? All we have to hold back our air is our vocal cords. Do you know that you hold your breath with your vocal cords? So you have to breathe in, hold your breath with your mouth open, and then go, you hear that? Okay? That's your vocal cords, okay? That's your vocal cords going, they're going, actually, okay? And so what happens is, if you can get, we're going to breathe in again, you're going to push against the vocal cords. Not hard, don't break yourself. Okay, but breathe in, hold your breath with your vocal cords, and then just go, okay, go. Okay, and the space between your vocal cords is called the glottis. Okay, so if you ever hear somebody say, oh, that's a glottal attack, it's a you can do that. Okay, those are your vocal cords popping together. Okay, that's what happens when we sing. We push the air through here, we get the vocal cords to go, and there's more to it than that. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is you get to stand up. You get to put the weight of your body on both feet. Okay, you're gonna, and what happens is when we breathe in, we need to make room for everything. So the diaphragm wants to fall down, but your abs are in the way. So you might hear that some people say, well, let your stomach out when you breathe in, okay? We also want to feel like our rib cage goes sideways when we breathe in. You know, your bottom rib is not attached, okay? And the reason why is because if this is my rib cage right here, when I breathe in, the whole thing goes like this, okay? So you all get to suck in air. Okay, now hiss. Okay, you can stop that. And so what happens is you also want to, also notice that there is a moment between inhaling and exhaling that you have to change the direction of the air, right? So the difference between breathing and singing is whether the air's going in or whether the air's coming out. Because it's very simple. We don't think about breathing for speaking because we speak all the time. But the difference is I'm breathing in, I'm pushing air to speak out. But then when I sing, it takes a lot more push. So we're going to do that one more time, except we're going to push through our fists. So breathe in, feel the rib cage expand sideways, like this, and then push air through your fist. Okay? Cool. Have a seat. The other thing you're going to want to do, even prior to singing, is I call it body awareness. And it's not just making sure the body is nice and tall, but that it's not stiff. You don't want to stand there like this, okay? You don't want to stand there with a potty pose, like I gotta go, okay? You don't want to stand with your hands behind your back because your arms are going to be crunching your rib cage, okay? So you want your hands, I mean, some of you, you're going to have instruments in your hands, which makes it kind of good because your arms are more up than down, so your arms aren't going to be cutting off your rib cage here, okay? You want to make sure that you're all, like, before I sing, I always shake it out. I have my men's choir in particular. My church choir doesn't care. They're just like, oh, we're old, don't teach us anything. And so I don't bother them. And the mean age is about 60, so I don't bother them. So you want to shake it out. Sometimes before I sing, I take and I wiggle my legs, make sure my legs are nice and relaxed. Do not lock your knees, okay? Lots of people lock their knees, and if any of you were ever in choir when you were a kid, they said, oh, don't lock your knees when you're on the risers during the choral thing because you'll faint, but it's not just that. It's not, everybody says it's that, but you know what it is? No, I don't want to make you all stand up again. I'll tell you what it is, and you don't have to do it. If you lock your knees, your leg muscles here no longer have to hold up your body, okay? Which for me, that's considerable, okay? So my leg, my knee joints are locked, and so I'm just standing here, and what happens is that gets tedious for the joint. And so as soon as you let go of it, these muscles don't catch up in time, and they fall over because their muscles go, ah, crap, missed that one, and they're on the ground. That's what happens. It's not necessarily because they faint because their knees are locked. Their knees, they faint because their legs didn't remember to keep them up after they unlocked their knees. But they've also done studies that if you lock your knees, this locks your torso, and so you can 30% less air goes in here when your knees are locked. So keep your knees unlocked, okay? It's the best way to go, okay? So on your lovely sheet here, and I hope you all got one. I think there's enough of them for everybody to have one. I have panting. A good way to teach your body how to pant is just to pant. So can you pant? And it's best if it works with your tongue out. Okay, and what is that but? Air in, air out, air in, air out, air in, air out. But you're teaching these muscles here to go and do that. The other thing you need to know about this is Remember when we breathed in and you just let the air out? We're going to do that again. Breathe in. No, just let it out. Okay. Now, did you have to work to get that air out? Okay. Now, breathe in and blow air through your fist. One more time. What's pushing the air out? What muscle? Your diaphragm isn't doing it. Your diaphragm only knows I pulled down and I want to be at rest, I'm letting go. I pulled down and did my job. Your abs, okay? It's your abs right here. Because the diaphragm goes down and your diaphragm says, I want to go back up, and it just goes, and you're done. If the abs grab, okay, if they clench, and they say, hold it, diaphragm, you're going to go up slow, and you're going to go up at the speed that I say and as even as possible. So what happens is when we sing, and you can't tell this from singers, because, well, for me, my boobs kind of bluffs out my abs, so you can't see my abs working, but we don't let you see any of that. You'll see a lot of singers do not wear tight things here because they can't expand their rib cage if they wear a corseted kind of thing, although some of the pop stars do, but they use a microphone, so it doesn't matter, and we're not even going to go there, okay? So what happens is you need to clench your abs to push hard to make the diaphragm push the air out of your vocal cords as evenly as possible, okay? So now what I want you to do is, I want you to do the same thing with the fist, but I want you to take it, I want you to breathe in, and I want you to clench your abs here to push the air out. So breathe in, okay? Clench abs, push air. Okay? And we're going to do something with singing so you can actually do that besides just this. We're going to make some vocal sounds, I promise, okay? You need to know all this. Some people will come to me and say, hey, I want a more even sound. If you use evener air, you get even sound. Hey, my sound is shaky. That means your air is shaky. Hey, my sound is quiet. That means your air is weak, okay? All of those things. Sometimes I don't sing on pitch. I'm flat. That's because the air isn't fast enough. My vibrato is as wide as a semi. It's because the air isn't fast enough. So the quality of your sound is determined by the quality of the air you put through your vocal cords. Where are your vocal cords? Up here. Up here? Where? Right in here. In your larynx. Okay, and just so you know, it's not larynx, it's larynx. Like I think ice skating rink, larynx, okay? And it's in your pharynx, which is your throat, okay? So your vocal cords are in here, and they sit in here in a piece of cartilage, okay? Now, for guys, this is very easy to find. Guys, you can find your Adam's apple. We can all see it, okay? That's where your vocal cords are attached, okay? For women, if you take 3 fingers, try to find your middle finger, and try to find the one little notchy that's a little bit bigger than the rest. It's somewhere around here, okay? Do you feel that little tiny notch? That's your, you don't need to know this is your arytenoid notch, okay? This is where your vocal cords are attached. Your vocal cords aren't cords, did you know that? They're folds. They're actually flaps of skin. And I tell my people, I tell my students, it's like lip skin. Like there's the inside of your lips that goes like this. That's it. They are as long as your thumbnail, okay? They sit in this tube, in your trachea, in your windpipe. And if I could put my windpipe this way, there are 2 flaps of skin in there that do this when you sing. That's it. They're attached in a V here. So if I could do it here, and these are my vocal cords, I could do it here so you can see it. The vocal cords actually do this. They're attached here. They don't come evenly together like this. They're attached at this point here, and there are muscles in the back of the V, making them longer and shorter to help change pitch. Isn't that the coolest thing on earth? So you wonder, why does my throat get tired if I yell? It's because there's 2 little pieces of skin in there, this freaking big, that are going... And if you have a cold, it's bad. If you have a sore throat, it's bad. If you screamed at your mother, it's bad. If you were outside in the freezing cold, it's bad. For premenopausal women, it's bad, okay? And so it's just for, if you want to know, hormonally, ladies, you just don't have a chance when you're having your periods because the tissues are inflamed and they just don't want to sing. Besides, you don't want to sing anyway. But you really, all you want is salt and chocolate and to be left alone, right? Okay? But what you'll find is it's, sorry, been there, done. I'm 59, I'm done. You want to be sure you take care of it at that time. It's not going to feel as clear to you, and it's going to be harder to do when you do it, okay? So that's all that's in there, okay? Now, since we all found our Adam's apples and our larynxes here, put your fingers on that little notchy, okay? And yawn. What happened? It went down. Yeah, isn't that cool? Okay, now, swallow. What happened? It goes up, so it's movable, okay? So if I'm just sitting here doing nothing, it's here. If I'm yelling at somebody, you can hear the tension in the sound, it goes up. Okay? If I'm talking in my sexy phone voice, which I really don't have one, it's lower, so it's movable, okay? So when you sing, the biggest difference between singing and speaking is, like, you can't tell I'm a singer by listening to this talk. It's because we hold this in a different position to sing than we do to speak, okay? So, what we want, I tell my little 13-year-olds, I say, sound like Julia Child, and they say, who? They don't know who Julia Child is. So, can you all talk like Julia Child? You can say, of course I can. Of course I can. That's just thrilling. So what happens is, when you sing, you want this to be lower, okay? Now, for people who like to belt, okay, people like to, hey, okay, that's more tension in the throat because the larynx is higher. So when you belt, it's higher, but you'll notice some people, some girls in particular who belt, can only go so far, and all of a sudden it goes, hey, okay? It's because the muscles can't take that much pressure, and they say, let us go, Captain, we're gonna blow. And they come apart, and this drops, and it goes into more of what we call a head tone, okay? And that's just, we just gotta take care of the vocal cords and make sure we don't abuse them, okay? So, with all of that, you needed to know all of that. What I have on this first sheet, and these are not rules of death, but these are just rules to kind of think about, okay? You can pant to work on your breathing, okay? You can blow through your hand. You can hiss for 25 to 40 seconds, just sss, okay? If you want to hold your breath, if you want to manage your breath for a longer period of time, you can breathe in, wait, and then sing. And all of my choirs, say there's a introduction before you have to sing. You see 55 men and music guys up there, just before they're all ready to sing, they go, and sing. We don't want to do that. We don't want them to suck the air out, just the upbeat before you come in. They breathe the bar early, they wait, then they sing, and it just works. And so what you want to do is prepare your breath early, and that's what that's for, okay? We're going to sing. And I know some of you would rather sit than stand, or maybe stand.
Stand.
Let's stand. So what we're going to do is, we're going to look on this sheet, if you all have one, and we're going to sing, Ma. And what you're going to do is, you're going to expand your rib cage, okay? You're going to make sure the weight of your body's on both feet. Yeah, expand your rib cage, and what you're going to do is, as you're ready to sing, you're going to clench those abs, and you're going to sing Ma, and you're going to keep the air as even as you can, till you're done, okay? So, we're going to give it a go. Here we are. Will this note and this note, or maybe sing this note for me? There we go, here we are, and breathe. Open your mouth, okay? This is the speaker for your sound. You get A funds. If you get, this is the speaker for your sound. If we were to take off, I took a pedagogy class, which is the science of teaching voice, and they actually showed you things you don't really want to see. But they actually took cadaver vocal cords, and they picked, well, wait, there was no blood and guts, they were all taken care of. But they were all on this board, and they had a tube of air pushing through the vocal cords. And if you push air through these, through the cords, all you hear is this. That was it, and I was like, holy crap, okay? The reason why you sound like you, and you sound like you, and you sound like you, is because of your head, okay? If you were to take me and Colleen, where's Colleen? Right here. Out there, right here. If you were going to take me and Colleen, and if we switched heads, we would sound like the head not like the vocal cords. Isn't that cool? Now, it works better female to female. Obviously, guys have guy vocal cords, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the thing is, the reason why we sound like we do, as we do, is because of our heads, okay? So, do you ever hear, some of you are of the age to remember the Lennon sisters, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They were related to each other. Sometimes you couldn't tell who was singing which part because they blended so well. The reason why they blended so well is because their speakers were all the same. I have 4 brothers. And when I went to college, all of them had changed voice by then. And I would call and I say, is this Dan? No. Is this Galen? No. Is this Joe? No. I says, this can't be Jerry. He's only 13. He says, yes, this is Jerry. I couldn't tell them apart because their voices were the same. So the deal is, this is the speaker for your voice, okay? So we want the air to come up from here, make the sound, and this is the soundboard for your sound. Like you know from your lovely instruments that the better instruments have a better sound. Either they are made better, they have a better shape to them, or the wood they're made out of, okay? Stradivarius violins, you know of them, yes? Yes. Do you know why they are so wonderful? It's not because Mr. Stradivarius was a good violin maker. It's the wood that they were made out of. He found some wood that had been in some water, so the cell membranes in the wood had been somewhat destroyed, and it created a sweeter sound. So Mr. Stradivarius found a whole lot of really nice wood to make those violins out of. That's why they're so wonderful. The reason why you all have your own wonderful sound is because you have all your wonderfully formed wood here. It's a sounding board. When you sing, you want the sound to hit your cheekbones. You want the sound to hit your sinuses here and here. You want the sound to hit your lips on the way out. You want the sound to hit your mouth on the way out. You want the sound to just go, and this is the speaker for your sound. Now, we talked about dropping your jaw. I'll show you what happens. The difference between... I'm catching a cold, I'm sorry. This is the difference between having your mouth closed and having your mouth open, but also shaping your mouth. Wow. There's a whole lot. Isn't that the coolest thing on earth? Okay, so, thank you. And for my next song. Okay, but we're going to pick a middle. That was kind of a medium note because I'm a soprano. I don't like to sing low. But what we're all going to do is you're going to do this. And what you're going to do is you're all going to sing on E. You're going to start with your teeth together, which you never want to sing with your teeth together. And then you're going to pucker your corners. Because if you keep your corners puckered, to your eye teeth, your corners puckered, right? To your eye teeth, you're going to sound better. And if you ever see the old Christmas carol Christmas cards that have the choir boys all have their mouth like this, you really want to shape your mouth kind of like an oval. Like, you don't want to lock into place because you'll look terribly stupid, okay? But you do want to keep it more north-south than east-west. The problem is our mouths are built east-west. So if you say E, we smile. Our teeth are that way. Our tongue says E, it splays out this way. It's like, okay, we could have been built this way. It would have been way easier. You know, but that's not how it is. So you always want to make sure that your mouth is taller than wider on every vowel you sing, even E. So come on in. Come on in. We do it now. Come on down. And so we're going to sing a note, and what I want you to do is, I want you to start out here, and then I want you to pull the corners in, and then we're going to make it taller, okay? You're going to sing an E for me, and if you run out of air, take a breath and start again, okay? So this is a G, which is about in the middle of range for everybody, okay? Okay, so try E like this. Hear the difference in the sound?
I sing like a man.
Isn't that cool? Sorry?
I sing like a man.
You can if you want. But did you try it up here?
No.
E. Okay, tell you what. Ladies first. Here you go. E. Try it again. E, ladies. E. Hear the difference in the sound? Yes. Ben, wow. Do the same thing. It's super cool. Here you go. F. E. So you want to do that on every vowel you sing. Okay, so let's go back to the first exercise you have here, and let's, instead of doing ma, let's do me. And what you're going to do is you're going to go me. Now on the lower notes, we don't need our E to look like this, because it won't sound like that. Okay, the other thing I need to tell you, how do you say E? What's the difference between ah and E? What's the difference between ah and E? What changes the sound?
The shape of your mouth.
Your tongue. Get your teeth from eye tooth to eye tooth, okay? So everybody keep your tongue flat and say ah, ah. Okay, now what happens is, and you can check this out with each other if you really want to look at each other's tongues, you'll see a slight groove down the middle of your tongue. Like it won't be all sucked down like you went, okay? But like just a little groove from the back of the tongue to the front of the tongue. Ah, yeah, see it? Ah, and there's a little groove down the tongue. That's ah, okay? A lot of people think that ah needs to be a really dark vowel, like oh, it does not. When it sounds more like oh, it's too dark. You just want to ah like aha. Do you guys want to come and sit in a real chair? And come watch? You can, we don't care. Well, okay. And so what you want to do is ah, okay, but do the same thing for eh. E, E, O, O, ooh, A. Okay, so each vowel has a certain arch to it. What's the biggest difference between ah and E? Say ah. What's your tongue doing? Ah. Okay, now say E. What's your tongue doing? The tongue is more humped up, okay? So now exaggerate this. You're going to say ah, and then you're going to say E, but when you say E, put all of your tongue up on the roof of your mouth. So say ah, ah. Okay, now say E, put the tongue on the roof of your mouth. E. What does it do? It clogs up all the space so the sound can't get out of your throat. So what we have to do, and this is where it gets complicated, and this is why you can't learn all of this in one session, is that the front of your tongue is going to say E, but if you look at my hand, your tongue is a finite length, and thank God it's not that long. If you arch the tongue in the front by your teeth to say E, the back of the tongue is down, and there's all this space back there for you to make the sound, okay? So we're going to sing ah, and then we're going to sing E, but I want you to take the tongue and put the E right out here at your teeth. Let the tongue be flat and back, okay? So we're going to sing, let's sing, we're going to sing ah, E, ah. Okay, so give it a go. Play with the ah, play with the tongue with the E, and see if when you say ah, your tongue will feel like it's a little flat and back, almost like you've got a quarter sitting on the back of your tongue. When you sing the E, let the tongue say E, let the back of your tongue have a quarter on it. Okay, so try here for me. Ah. Ah, E, ah. I'm going to do it again. Ah, E, ah. Good. Ah, E, ah. Try ah and A. Obviously you can't just sing E, okay? So what we want to do is, if you think about this, and this sounds really stupid, we sing on the vowels, right? We don't sing on the consonants of the words. We sing, consonants make sound. D makes a sound. B makes a sound. T does not, does not. So there are voiced consonants that your vocal cords actually go, and there are unvoiced consonants, all that does not. It's hard to sing through those because they stop the airflow. So if you're going to try a sound and put a consonant to it, it's easier for us to make a consonant that makes a sound to go with the actual voice sound. And that's why I picked okay? So that's why we did ma. We're going to try, we'll try the same thing. Try ma, me, ma for me. So we're going to go ma, me, ma. Yeah, let the M build up behind your teeth. There you go. Ma, me, ma. Good, one more. Ma, me, ma. Yeah. And do you notice that it's a pretty substantial sound? You're getting a lot of really nice sound. It's because the air is coming through here. It's going through the vocal cords. You're getting it up into your head. okay? The other exercises do the same thing. I like to do lip flutters, which is if you look the second staff down. First of all, there's arpeggios. A lot of these are just exercises to figure out how on earth do I sing, okay? And so this is just an arpeggio, which is just notes in a chord, which go, ah. And what you do is you breathe, connect all the air through all the skips, because it's not stepwise. The first exercise is stepwise, one note right after the other. The next one has bigger skips in the line. So, try it for me. See if you can do it. Push out lots of air because you need faster air for the high notes. Here we go. Good. Good for you. One more. Now, can any of you do this? Can you sing on that? Because what you're going to find is, sometimes we'll get to, and some of you probably found, some of those notes we're getting just a little bit high. And it's like, well, how do I extend my range? The best thing to do is just sing up there. Like, don't sing up there for 2 hours and say, by golly, I'm going to get this note if I sing it for 3 hours a day. That's not how to do it. There are basses in Russia. They call them Russian basses. And they sing almost off the piano at the bottom end. And it's because they grunt. And they grunt down to the lowest note they can, and then the next day, they go down another half step, and they go down another half step, and they go down another half step. So they gradually teach you all the parts you got down there, okay? We can do the same thing on the upper end, but you don't want to blast it up there. You want to sneak it up there, and you want to like trick it into doing something it doesn't know it knows how to do, okay? So we do a lip flutter, and what it is we're going to start here, and it's just dumb as, but it works, okay? So we're going to try it. For those who can do this, give it a go. Here you go. Oh yeah. Now we're going to go higher. Some people can't do that, okay? That's fine. Don't do it. The other thing that works really cool is a straw. Are there any straws besides, we just have cocktail straws, don't we? Yeah, I should have brought them. Grab like a shake straw from McDonald's, okay? Or they make those really big ones for old people who can't suck out of straws, okay? You can actually, opera singers, when they're in hotels, they can't sing in the hotel. They wake up everybody on the 5th floor. They phonate through straws. They sing through straws. It's like singing through a kazoo, okay? So when you want to warm up, yeah, and so just get a straw and just start going. It's the coolest thing on earth. It makes no sound. You can push air through it and it can warm up your voice. So there's a place where you need to warm up. Opera singers keep little short pieces of straw, and they just, you can't hear them. But they're singing and they're doing wonderful things with their voice because the air is going, but they don't let out a whole lot of sound. But it really helps them learn how to warm up. Well, okay. So there are other exercises on here. If you look down at the bottom of this page, there are exercises for diction. Okay. Obviously, you want to sing with consonants, so it's just simple like. That's it. Try whatever is your pleasure. Don't sing them high, okay? For tone, and we talked about the sound all coming up to the front of your face here. If you look on the second page, tone placement, and I know this is more like a 3-hour workshop than a 1, and so we're going to kind of hit the high points here, okay? I'd rather use M than the ba, but some people like a different consonant for this, mame, mi, mo, mu. And what it is you want to start, I'm going to start a little lower, I'm going to start here. Okay, and you want to feel like you keep all that sound. The sound comes out of your throat, and I feel like there's a big funnel back here. And all the sound is back here, okay? And it's all round and it's all comfortable. But what we want to do is we want to put a point on the sound. So I can sing here and go, but that doesn't do anything. It's all in the back of my throat. I want to aim it here. So I think that the funnel is here. It's up to us to shape all of our face and our mouth, not to get closed, but to feel like you have a point about this far in front of your face, where the sound aims. So it's all, the tip of the funnel is out here. So what I want you to do is feel like you are aiming the tip of the funnel. So all that sound hits right about here. Almost if you have a nickel sitting on your philtrum right here in the front of your lip. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do, and I want you to feel like it's all coming out into a little space like right here. And feel like you could put your hands, if you put your little pinkies on your face, and you're going to feel this vibrate. And when it does, you're going to like it. Okay? And if you don't, I'm sorry for you. Okay, here you go. You may harmonize. I heard some harmony. One more. Yeah. Do you feel like there's a better concentration there at all? Okay? I call this hands-on face for my students because they have no idea that the sound is allowed to come right in and hit their face from the inside out. You should feel the roof of your mouth vibrate, okay? You should feel your lips vibrate, and as you get higher, say the middle of staff, if you read music, it's about B or B flat, all of this sound will then come up and go up behind your eyeballs, and when I say high, it feels like it's coming right out my eyes, which is kind of cool, okay? Next on here is staccato notes, which are just... Okay, and it's with a good consonant, and the whole point of singing staccato notes, which are just short detached notes, is you're taking your vocal cords and giving them little 5-pound reps, and just going ha, 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 like that, and so instead of going ha to get them to go, give them just little reps, and the repetition of that makes the vocal cords stronger, because you're going with the vocal cords, okay? So you get to try this, and it's just a ha, 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 ha. And you can do that every day. You can do that however long you want. As you get better at it, you can do faster things, like if you want to get the vocal cords to and pick out all those short notes at the same time, try to find the pitch, try to get it going, try to make sure you are the master of the vocal cords, and you get to tell them what to do by telling them what to do. They learn how. It won't always happen the first time. I have students who will stand up there and just, I can't do it, I just didn't work in there. I'm like, you know what, it's a mulligan, let's just do it again. Because you have to convey to them how to do it. I can't see their muscles in here. You can't see your muscles in there. How on earth do you teach it how to sing? Trial and error. Try it again. The big things are good posture, lots of air, mouth space. Keep the tongue behind your teeth. Aim the air into your face. And that's about 80% of how to learn how to sing.
It's awesome.
Okay? Which is so super cool. I think I have some other things. Oh, there are things. Look on page 3 quickly. Okay. I do this with the men of music every Tuesday night just to get their jaw down. Some of these things are just to get your mouth to do what it's supposed to do when you sing. Okay. And I make them go blah 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 blah. And every Tuesday night I say, okay, gentlemen, this is to drop your jaw. Like they don't know this after 25 years. Yeah. And honest to God, 15 of them are going. I ain't doing that. I ask them to the basses to go into falsetto. No, that won't even work, okay? So a lot of these others are just exercises to help you with gaining a range, with helping you with getting the voice stronger. The one lady here asked me, how do I make my voice stronger? And first of all, just sing every day, okay? But the other thing is, there is a way you can teach them to get stronger by using more air. And there's one exercise that works. I talked to trombone teachers, clarinet teachers, not anybody who plays a stringed instrument because it's not the same. They make them play long tones to get better. If a trombonist wants to get a better tone, they play long notes. Flutists the same way, oboists the same way. We have something called mezza di voce, which is the middle of the voice. So you don't do it up in the stratosphere, you don't do it down in the dungeon. You do it in the middle, okay? And what you do is, you start a note, and you start it quietly, and you just hold it, and you crescendo on it, and get it louder and louder and louder and louder, and you stop. Then you take the same note, start loud, get quiet, 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 quiet. And what that does is it teaches the vocal cords to put differing amounts of air pressure behind them so that you can sing more quietly, but it's still here. More medium loud, but it's still here. Louder, but it's still here. And you haven't heard this because you've used this to do it. Does that make sense? Okay, so try for me here. We're gonna go, let's try it on E. And we're gonna start quiet to loud. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Now, try loud and go to quiet. This is the harder way to do it. Here you go. Just, it's way harder to take off the weight of the voice. It's that way in real life too. It's just harder to take it off than it is to put it on. And it's just, and so it's a matter of degree. It's a matter of just keeping the air flowing all of the time. And that's the most important thing. Some of these other exercises are more advanced to gain flexibility in the voice beyond the arpeggios, like that's what a lot of these are fancy exercises as you get going to continue to sing. Some of you do have the vocal objectives. I made 10 extra copies this morning, and I didn't have this page when I made the copies. I give this to my students, and I know we have to go. I give this to my students because they say they're going to try out for a solo, or you want to do a performance, you want to sing a solo for something, and you want it to sound good. So look in here and say, okay, do I have a clear tone? Do I sound really raspy? Okay. Do I have vibrato? Do you know what vibrato is? Okay, it's the waver that happens naturally in the sound. Exactly right. Some people have it, some people don't, and that's another 20-minute piece of time we don't have for today. But do you sing with dynamics, loudly and quietly? Is your voice flexible, or does it sound like it's choppy and stilted? Are you singing smoothly? Legato means bound together. Is it tied together when you sing? Are there vocal breaks? Are you going, ah? Try to, if it does, pick a different song. Or pick a different key. Or I teach my kids how to disguise that. In adolescence, the biggest thing I do with my students is teach them how to bridge the gaps. For guys, it's going into falsetto. For ladies, it's sing in your upper voice more than your lower voice. It gets stronger and mixes with the lower voice sooner. Okay. So are you phrasing and breath control? Are you gasping when you breathe? Can we hear it? Can we see it? Stealth breathing. Did I breathe or didn't I? You don't know. And that's how it should be, particularly when you're at a microphone. Okay? Am I making objectional movements when I breathe? Don't do that. We want it stealth singing. We don't want to make it look like it's hard to sing or make it sound like it's hard to sing. And so not with your body language, not with your posture, not with anything that comes out of your mouth. Okay? Are you using good diction? Are you using your tongue to say all those vowels as brightly and as clearly as possible? Intonation. Do you sing in tune? Okay? Some people don't sing in tune, and that's a bear to manage. And what you do is you just keep at it. You know, get yourself a pitched instrument and try to be on key. Interpretation and general musicality are one of the last things I get to with my kids, because I'm a tone teacher. I teach people how to sing pretty, and I don't say, smile when you sing that word. I just can't get into that. And so I tell them, as the phrase goes up and you get to the exciting words of the phrase, you want to emphasize those. And for everybody, those are going to be different words. I was in a play when I was a kid, and I was supposed to be Lucy in, it might have been A Good Man, Charlie Brown, and she comes out and says, 7 years ago. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. So you can say it many, many different ways. You can do the same thing with all the music that you sing. Find the important words that you want to convey and crescendo to them. Make them louder till you get to them. Back off of them. As a melodic phrase goes up, good composers write it. So it's supposed to be louder on the high notes. It's easier to sing the high notes louder because it takes more air to sing the high notes. As you come back down the phrase, let it crescendo again. We get questions. I know we gotta go. Questions. Anything I can help you with? Anything else I can tell you?